Have you been struggling to grow your delts, but in 2023 want to change that? Well, I've got a few tips for you. So the first mistake that I see is people relying on too many variations of shoulder presses to grow their delts. Now, the dumbbell shoulder press, machine shoulder presses, barbell shoulder presses, they're all going to be great ways to grow the anterior or front part of your delt. But that doesn't mean you need to do 3, 4, 5 different variations in the week, especially if you're already doing some pressing for your upper chest or just your chest in general. Instead, you'd be better off focusing a lot more of your time on performing lateral raises and Y raises to grow the side delt or lateral delt. This is what's going to give your delts that really capped, rounded look and make them appear bigger. I personally recommend to my clients to do at least 2 to 3 variations of laterals and or Y raises if we're trying to specialize in delt growth in their program. Now, you can do this standing as I was before. We can use a chest support here to remove some of the torso momentum, which is great for those of you who feel the movement in your upper traps. And we can also use cable variations, which are actually my preference because simply by altering the cable height or body position, we can actually change the resistance profile of the movement. You can see at the moment, I've got the cable around hand height. That's going to make this harder down here in the bottom portion of the movement. But if I take the cable, drop it down to the bottom, and perform the lateral raise like this, now I'm not really getting anything here, and the movement gets much harder as I come to the top up here. We could also use cable Y raises where we actually come a little higher than we normally would for a lateral raise, just to train that very top position where the mid delt is fully shortened. So a typical rear delt or reverse fly is going to be a great option for the rear delts because we can open up and shorten them here in the squeeze. But if we want a little bit of variation, then we can also use seated row variations where we can employ more of a 45-degree arm path like so, which is going to allow us to shorten the rear delt just that little bit further, and it's going to stop rear delt training from getting so mundane because you then have multiple exercises to choose from. And a really quick tip for these rear delt rows as well is that as you row, try not to overly retract and pinch your shoulder blades like this. All we really want to be doing is just pulling the elbow back to the natural point that it wants to go, and then relaxing out of the row into the eccentric. Don't overdo that retraction, otherwise you're gonna bring in a lot more teres, rhomboid, and trap. All right, so there you have it. Now you have a full arsenal of exercises and movement patterns to grow your delts in 2023. And if you're like me and they're gonna be a specific area of priority, this list is gonna hold you in really, really good stead from turning your pebble shoulders into boulder shoulders by the end of the year. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe for more educational training content, and I'll catch you in the next one.